The method we are going to use for this canning process is called hot water bath method. And for that, we have to chop the tomatoes, blend and boil it into a consistency that is similar to the normal tomato paste that you find in bottles in your shops. In which case you have to leave some liquid. You are not going to boil it so dry. While the tomato boils, you have to get ready for the next stage. For this stage, wash your jar in soapy water and rinse them. Then load them in hot boiling water. In order to make sure that everything we use will be hot, because you're not going to introduce anything cold in this process. Drop the lids and the rings in saucepan, and later you're going to pour hot water in the saucepan to make sure that the rubber seal will be soft by the time it's gonna be sealed. The jars will be sealed. And also to make sure that everything will be hot. We are not going to be introducing anything cold to the hot jars. It's a very, very important aspect. Don't introduce anything cold in this process. The tomato will be hot, the jars will be hot because they will be coming out of the hot water after sterilization, and then the lids and the rings have to also be hot. If there is not enough water to cover the jars, top it up, but make sure you use hot water. The water I'm using now is actually boiled. I boiled it using the kettle. After loading the jars into the pot, cover it and let it boil for 20 to 30 minutes. 20 to 30 minutes so that the jars will be sterilized properly. Now we have to fetch the jars from the pot and then get ready to fill them up with the tomatoes. As you fetch them out, empty the water very carefully and make sure where you drop them that none of them make contact. They have to stay apart, and make sure they don't make contact with any hard stuff or even any cold thing. This might lead cracks on the hot jars. As you can see, I flattened the cardboard box on which I dropped the jars to make sure they don't make direct contact. Worked up. Stir the tomato to make sure that when you fill the jars, they will be of the same consistency. Place a wide mouth funnel on top of the jars. Carefully fill the jars, making sure you minimize the spillage, and being careful you leave some space like 2 inches head space. That is the distance between the line of the tomato and the top of the rim. This is a very important step. Wipe the rims of the jar. Wipe the rim of the jar after filling, because any little tomato or anything at all that you leave on the rim will stop the sealing process. So it is very important that you wipe the rims. And any other time you top up something in the jars, you top up the jar with something, make sure you go through the process again and wipe the rims. This is a very simple, ordinary lemon juice I picked up from supermarket. You can use any brand of lemon juice you want, and the purpose is just to top up the acidity level. Lemon juice is highly acidic, so that is why, even though tomato is acidic as well, we want to be sure of the level, so we add some more acidity into the mix. If it's never too much, but it's better to be safe instead of being low, so it's better to add more acidity to it. Acidic levels that are high always prevent the growth of bad bacteria that can cause harm after the whole production process when you consume the item. So we go ahead and add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice to each jar. Sometimes some people can add more. It depends. It really depends on you, and it also depends on the brand. I mean, the type of tomato you used. Some of them are highly acidic, and some of them are have lower acidity. I want to go ahead now and top up the jar that is not well full. I'll top it up with water. If you have to do this, make sure you use hot water. Let's try and level out the jars now, the contents. Some of them are more than others, especially the one with hot water. I want to try and kind of increase the acidity by taking tomato from the other ones, and then kind of mix them around and try to make them equal. As always, go ahead and wipe the rims. Now it's time to go ahead and place the lids. The lids have been in hot water for some time now, where the rubber seal have been softening. When you place the lid on top of the jar, you have to finger tight the rim. Don't tight it so hard, because you still expect air bubbles to escape from within the jar, because that's the principles that guide the sealing process. Air has to escape from the jar and form a vacuum inside, which pulls the lid. Go ahead and place on the third one. Now it's time to lift the jars back into the hot water. Using the jar lifter, take them and then place them inside the hot water pot. Make sure they don't touch each other within the pot, because that can cause breakage. Cover it and let it boil for 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes, depending on where you live and your altitude. Using the grabber, lift the jars out of the hot water. Place them on the flattened cardboard box and leave them in the room temperature to cool down. Make sure they don't touch each other. At this time, sometimes some of them might seal in the pot before you fetch them out, but it's good to leave them outside and then wait for up to 8 hours. Hello, welcome back. It's nearly 8 hours now since I lifted these off the pot. So let's see how it's doing. I wasn't really around to hear it pop. Usually when you lift them out of the pot, as they cool down, they pop one by one. So let's see how our sealing did. Wow, well sealed. The first thing you notice, the curvature here goes down. That tells you that it is sealed. If it wasn't sealed, it will budge, and when you press it, you could hear it click. But this time around, it went down, showing that it's sealed. This will go a long way now. It could take up to a year before it starts going bad. I'm going to label them very soon. Put the date that they were made on it. And then all done. This one, let's have a look. First telltale sign, yeah, it's flat. It's depressed, showing that it's sealed. Let's have a look. Yeah, yep. You can't easily take this out anymore. You have to force it to open it. So well sealed. 2/3. Let's see the third one. Third one.
stem depressed. So first sign, second sign, yep, sealed. 1 year guarantee. That's it. Tomato paste in the jar that could stay up to a year. If only people in Nigeria knows they don't have to waste all their produce before as soon as they harvest their crops. You know, with the state of electricity over there, at least they can store their fresh produce for a little more longer. You don't have to put this in the fridge. You have to store it in a cool, dry place, either in the shelves, on the shelves, or inside the cupboard. That's it. I'm going to label them now and then pop them into the cupboard. If you have any queries, please don't forget to leave them in the comment section. Leave any queries you have and I'll get back to you. I'll make sure I answer them.
If you are happy with this video, give it thumbs up, share to your friends and subscribe. If you're not happy, at the bottom, right at the bottom, there is a place for comments, and let us know why you didn't like it so that it will help us in producing further ones. Thank you. Thanks for watching.